Hey everyone, welcome back to the Black Standard Podcast. This is episode 15 of the Black Standard Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Wallace, and we're going to jump straight into the episode. So, you guys know it's Black Standard culture for us to do our daily mantra. So, it goes like this: I'm happy to be alive. My heart is clean. My mind is open. I'm ready to receive. If you guys don't have that saved in your cell phones by now, I don't know what to tell you guys. Manifestation is so important. So, we have a guest on our podcast today. She is an entrepreneur, a makeup artist, and a marketer. She's the owner of 3 successful companies, and she is a huge player in the beauty industry. Now, she is a whole Wolmerian like myself, and she's passionate about makeup artistry and has made her mark all over. And guys, despite the pandemic and other obstacles, Gabby has continued to break limits as a woman of color in the beauty industry. So welcome to the podcast, Gabby.
Hi.
Hey.
What's up, Wolmerian?
Yes, I got quite a geese.
Hey, when you said that part, I was just like, yeah, girl.
Yeah, man.
Hey, leave maroon and gold.
For my international listeners, it's Wilmers. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you need to
Yeah,
find out.
you need to know.
All right, so let's jump straight into the questions, Gabby. So tell us a little bit about where you're from and what was life like for young Gabby.
Okay, so I'm from Kingston, Jamaica. Life like for young Gabby. Well, I went to Wilmer's pre-prep and high. So
Oh
I
wow.
am a true
True,
Wilmerian.
Marian.
And I always say if they had a university, I would have been there as well.
Facts.
Definitely. But yeah, growing up, I was a single child. Fortunately, I lived with both parents, my mom and my dad, and I still do. And yeah, I always wanted to be a corporate girl. I always wanted to leave a mark, but I always thought that that would have been by being a corporate girl.
Mm-hmm.
I always looked up to my aunt growing up because she was the CEO of a major company. And because of that, I always wanted to be like her. She was such a woman, a boss woman. She had a family. She was so loving, so caring. And I just wanted to be just like her. So, because of that, even while I was going to school, I always would go to her and say, okay, Auntie, which subjects you think I should choose? And she did finance. So,
Mm-hmm.
because of that, I wanted to do finance. So, I did for CSEC, I did the business subjects. Same for CAPE. And going into university, I was going to do banking and finance. That was one of the things that I studied. And I did that because that was what she studied.
Right.
So yeah, so that's really how everything started. And then she was the one who told me to take on marketing. I had no interest in marketing. As I said, I just wanted to be just like her. I wanted to be a corporate girl in finance, running a major company, because that was what she was doing. And because, it's different when you're able to witness someone who achieve something, and
Exactly.
you exactly, so you can always ask them questions. You feel like you know much more, so, and it seems so much more possible because you know the person. So because of that, I thought I tried to follow every single footstep that she was doing,
Mm-hmm.
because she also went to Wilma's.
Oh, really? Who do I know
Yeah.
your aunt? Do I? Was she
No.
there? Oh, okay, okay, okay. I know your mom.
No, no, no.
Guys, Gabby's mom is a hot girl.
First of all, if you know me, you know my mother.
Yeah,
Like,
just it's
you
like
can't say
it's
one without
like yeah,
the other.
it's like Gabby 1.0. So you would be the 2.0 because you're the child. Actually, Gabby, I think I don't remember quite clear, but I think my mom knows your dad. I think
Yeah.
so. I think she either worked with him or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Dad is Mr. Congeniality. Oh my
No,
God.
she used to
He,
like when she saw him, she was like, Mr. Waite, Mr. Waite. So I was like, I wonder if she used to work with him. My mom worked at churches and
Dad
yeah,
even
churches.
involved in Swallowfield.
Chur-
Was used to be very highly involved in Swallowfield. chapel, but he's a big church guy. So from
I
me to
don't
that,
know. I don't know. She was
or
at Church's
he
Cooperative
works
Credit
at a
Union.
bank.
She was at
Oh,
WorldNet.
church. Oh, okay, okay, okay. No, 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 no. I don't know.
I don't
Or
know.
Scotia Bank. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know, but I think she knows it. So, your mom, right? The original
Mhm.
hot girl. She
Eh,
was a
as I said.
makeup artist. So, apart from your aunt, did that inspire you in any way to like become, corporate
So
bae, glam bae?
what's so funny about that, right? So as I said, growing up, I looked up to my aunt a lot. I wanted to be just like her.
Mhm.
But like as I started to get older, I realized that my mom has been my role model this whole entire time. Because growing up, she was into makeup artistry.
Mhm.
So I would always follow her on jobs. I would assist her. I would start off by cleaning makeup brushes. When she was actually going to makeup school, I would have been there with her as well. And sometimes I would actually be her model. So
Oh,
yeah, I used to just yeah. So I was
didn't
there
know that.
taking in all of this stuff. Yeah. So I was there, and then yeah, whenever she'd have her jobs, I'd clean the brushes, and then I upgraded to like doing the lip application, and then it went on to like be laying out the foundation and do the foundation
Mhm.
application, and then eventually I started to assist her with like the bridesmaids, and then
Oh,
one time she had like a overlapping on booking, so she left me with one job to start, and she did the other, and then when she came, basically the bridesmaids were done, and she's just like, well, I really need to teach you some more, and so that we can like you actually know a lot
that's
more
so
and
cute.
about the craft,
That's so
right? So
cute.
when I actually started off when I started doing makeup on my own, and I created Gabby Glam. I started off with her makeup kits and her
Okay.
clients. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then now
I think
everything
that's
that I
super
do,
cute though.
yeah, everything that I do that
Especially
is
that
on Facebook
scenario where
is
she
all
just
for
trusts
her.
you. She just trusts you with
Yeah,
the privacy, like take
and I
over.
think that I had a lot of practice from because I also used to dance with Wilma's dance troupe.
Yeah, I
And
know.
because of that, when we have performances, I would do my makeup and then I would do my friends' makeup. So I had a lot of practice with that as well.
Big up
So
Jaden. Big up Jaden,
yeah,
anywhere you are.
that's my girl. And Shay Shay.
And Shay Shay.
Oh gosh, but
Oh,
yeah. So
Shay.
that's how
Oh.
I got.
Guys, Shay is
Yeah,
in the office with me. She doesn't have a microphone, but you guys used to dance
yeah.
together. Okay, okay, okay. I see the relation. Okay, so you're the CEO of like three companies, right? And
Mhm.
that's a major flex, by the way. So the companies are Gabby Glam, Carnival
Mhm.
Glam Hub, and GlamCon. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about what inspired you to first start out with Gabby Glam, and then just briefly tell me about the other companies as well.
Okay. So as I said, and this all goes back to how it all started. I wanted to be a corporate girl, right? When I was in university, I became a part of a company called UCA, and the head of that, he was asking each of us, what is it that we want to do? So everybody went, and I'm like, oh, I want to be the CEO of a corporate company, like a major company. And he told me, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be the CEO of a corporate company. And I was vexed. What did vex? I'm like, who are you? You don't know me. I don't know you. Why are you telling me what's gonna happen? Like you don't know anything about me. So I was so vexed. Yeah, girl, you should have seen my face that day. I was cross. I was just like, what? And he's just like, no, he's just like, I said what I said. You're not going to be the CEO of a corporate company. You're going to be the CEO of your own company. You see what he said? I said, I was so
Oh,
mad. I was just like, that was so mad. So I think it all stemmed from UCA. UCA was really what challenged me a lot into thinking and having a real mind of my own and thinking outside of the box and doing what I wanted to do and doing something that I actually really loved, right? So because of that, I knew I was always like a glam girl. I always loved dressing up and makeup, everything. So, and because I already had that background in makeup artistry, anytime they would have jobs for when they get from corporate clients, I would always suggest to do the makeup.
Mm-hmm.
So doing that, they're like, okay, this seems like, and I realized that's something that I love to do. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna make something out of this. I'm gonna make it my business, right? And it was trying to think of my name. Yeah, girl, because if you say they're always about making money, So they're always finding a way how to monetize on something that you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because I love the makeup artistry, they're like, okay, why don't you take it more seriously? Why don't you do the makeup? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I definitely agree. So I started to put myself out there a lot more. As I said, I started taking on my mom's clients.
Mm-hmm.
I started with her makeup kit and finding clients of my own. And when it came on to thinking of a name that I wanted to call it, my original Instagram name was Gabby Glam. And through studying marketing as well, I also knew the purpose of branding and marketing. So because persons would automatically call me Gabby Glam, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make that the name. I'm just
You're
gonna
gonna
call it
be
Gabby
that
Glam.
girl.
Yeah, I said I'm gonna
Girl.
I said, yeah, I'm the best person to represent my brand.
Right.
And I said I'm gonna call it Gabby Glam Co. But the thing about it is that I always had a long-term goal. A lot of persons thought that the co for Gabby Glam Co meant company, but for me, it always meant cosmetics because I knew that that's where I wanted to go.
Okay.
So it was like a reminder for me. So you know how affirmations are so important. I wanted to, and like vision boarding and all of that. So I wanted to put it right there. So every time when somebody says Gabby Glam Co, in my head I'm like, okay. At the end of the day, I'm striving to have my own cosmetic line. So that was, but no one ever knew. People just thought it was company. I never said anything. I always just knew that that was where I wanted it to go. So
Girl, your heart
that
is
was how it
clean,
started.
your mind is open, and you're ready to receive.
Yep. In the name of Jesus, girl. In the name of Jesus.
Funny
Yeah.
enough, UCA impacted my life as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in the admin section, but I was one of those students, right? So
Right.
it was me and my friend to this day, Damario. We were the first CMU UCA students, right?
Ah,
Um,
nice.
and initially, it wasn't it didn't really last that long, but initially we were like the CMU rep sort of in like a
Mm-hmm.
group chat. And
Yeah.
I worked with educators, and we had a really good relationship, and they really did help me as a student
You
in terms of
learned.
income, in terms of experience,
Yeah,
stuff
you
like
learned
that.
so much from UC. I learned so much from UC, and I don't think I'm the only one. As you said, you are the same thing.
Yep.
You learned so much from there, and then you realize what it is that you want. Because I mean, going to school is one thing, but when you find a community and when you find somewhere that you
Yes.
can build an experience and really learn, that helps you a lot, so much
I, I
more.
I feel like a lot of college students transitioned more smoothly into the corporate world because of UCA. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
That's,
Definitely. I agree with that 100%. And the thing is that, they always have, because they're connected with so many corporate companies, once you're able to tell them what you are interested in, then they can allow you to get that type of experience to know if it's something that you really want to do.
yep.
So,
So
yeah.
Chris, big up yourself.
Big up yourself every time.
Bestie. Anyway,
Oh,
so yeah, so you mentioned what you studied during college, right? Banking and finance, marketing. As an entrepreneur, right? Would you say that that has helped you to like carefully structure the way you do business? Because for me personally, I did logistics. And so in
mhm.
terms of imports and price calculations and creating a systems of how to meet my customers, I feel like logistics has helped me in that way. So
Definitely.
banking and finance and
Agreed.
marketing, like with Gabby Glam Co and your other two companies, would you say that that has helped you in terms of building a structure for your business?
It has definitely helped me in terms of building a structure, but at the same time, like it's always different when you're doing the practical versus the theory parts of it. Because in university, you're learning more of the theory part. So yeah, you
Right.
understand the theory, but it's not until you're actually experiencing it, then it's so much more different.
Mm-hmm.
But it does help a lot in terms of you do understand the overall general principles, but the experiences that I've had, even with because of you say that has what has really just helped me a whole lot more.
Right.
um because of actually having the experience and being able to actually test it in the market to see if it actually works and how it works, and actually being able to understand the behavior of consumers and how it is that my brand is perceived and what I need to do in order to increase that type of that relation and that customer relation, and for them to also feel like they are a part of the brand. So grant you, learning it from university helps a lot, but it's not until you're actually in the process you
Mm-hmm.
see so much more. But it definitely helps in terms of the structure.
The basics.
For me, the basics definitely, especially for banking and finance, for the accounting aspect of it,
Mm-hmm.
that had helped me a lot, especially when it came out to putting on Carnival Glam Hub and Glam Con, because then there are a lot of expenses that come and you want to figure out
Yeah.
how you can make money from it, but for also it to seem like customers are also getting value added. So you want it to be a great experience. You want it to feel like, they're getting more value than what they paid for, but you still want to be profitable from it. And you want it to be a great experience for the sponsors and all of that. So banking and finance helped along with marketing, because then I was able to know how to merge the two in reality as opposed to just on theory. But it really helps a lot just being able to have that background.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, after college, right? Now, you did
Yeah.
your degree, you left college. You've worked with, in my opinion, a lot of marketing and social media, like top dogs or big dogs, like Chris, which we spoke about earlier, the CEO of UCA,
Yeah, quite a
Terry
lot. So
Cabral, Candy
yeah.
King, Rowan Perry, also known as Quite Perry. He's a comedian on social media, and much, much more. I want to know what that has been like for you. Just your overall experience. Were you nervous? Were you like confident? Like,
Well, okay. So I can tell you for Candy King, I always had a crush on her. Like I always had a crush on her from like high school. So I was like, oh my God, I love her, I love her, I love her. I used to
mhm,
always follow her. So I think the first time I actually worked with her, I was definitely nervous about it. But it's so funny because then I actually reached out to her for her to host GlamCon, because she was one of the first persons that hosted GlamCon. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna shoot my shot. I don't care. And I remember I contacted her. I remember the conversation. I was like, "Hi, Gabby. This is Gabby from Gabby Glam." She was like, "Hi, Gabby Glam," and I told her
oh,
about
she knows
GlamCon.
my
She was like,
name. She knows my name.
"She knows my
Wow.
name." I was so excited. I think I went to her about Carnival Glam Hub first because she was also in that carnival space. So I went to her Carnival Glam Hub to her first, and I remember she was so supportive about it. She was actually one of the first persons that I actually had told, because she had that she was in that space. So she was very supportive on that. And I remember I had contacted her to ask her to host GlamCon. And when she said yes, it really warmed my heart. Yeah, because it was like, oh my God, like the person that I had a crush on for years actually believes in my brand. The fact that she was able to support Carnival Glam Hub and then to support another brand that never even started at GlamCon. So it really warmed my heart. In terms of Terry Carell, that was me shooting my shot. And let me tell you, don't ever be afraid to shoot your shot
I
to
want her on my
anybody.
podcast.
Girl,
I
Do you
want her
remember?
on my podcast. I really do.
Listen,
Terry, if you're listening to
I
this.
remember. I remember I saw her one day. So she was hosting something, but I was doing makeup for someone else. And I walked up to her. I'm like, "Hi, Terry. I'm Gabby, makeup artist. I'd love to be makeup one day." She's like, "Oh my-" But the thing is that, so this is also, I also work in corporate.
Mm-hmm.
So by working in corporate and I'm in marketing, we had hired her to host something for us. So I was trying to, I was just like making her try to remember
Kill
my
two birds with
face.
one stone.
Yeah, so while I'm there, while I'm in my corporate job, I'm communicating with her a lot and everything. Making so she by that time she knew my name. So when I was at the other event for Gabby Glam, I was just like, okay,
Ooh.
I'm gonna shoot a shot now. So I was just like, "Hey, Terry, do you remember me? It's Gabby." And she's like, "Hey, hi, Gabby, what you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I also do makeup. I love to be makeup." And she's like, I was just like, "Yeah." So that's
That's
how that
nice.
started. And yeah, and that's how that started. So from then I was always just trying to. So that's how
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid of DMing people and saying, "Hey, I'd love to do makeup someday." Um, yeah. I will walk up to you and it's like, "Hi, I'm Gabby. I'm a makeup artist."
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it seems very creepy and weird, but I mean, girl, at
Hey,
that time
that's
I was so hungry.
yeah.
I Yeah, when you're hungry, like, and people always say that you're enough, but I'm
No,
telling, like,
I agree because
nothing's wrong with
when
being
you
enough.
really want something, it's like okay, the concept is similar to drowning, right? If you're drowning, you have no choice but to breathe. Like you have to breathe and you have to
Yeah.
swim. You have to swim as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Even if it,
the breathing aspect I would relate that to wanting it. The swimming aspect I'd relate to working for it, if you know what I mean.
amen. Yep.
Yeah. So I
Definitely agree.
definitely agree with you. And sometimes you're gonna have to embarrass yourself. Sometimes you're gonna
You're
have to
going
look
to have
weird.
to embarrass yourself. Sometimes you're gonna get no's, but
And sometimes you're gonna get a
you can
lot of
also get
no's.
like you're gonna get a lot of no's. You're
Yeah.
gonna get a lot of no's. And then sometimes you're gonna get yeses. And then sometimes these same people you went to when you reach a certain level, they're gonna come to you and be like, "Hi, you remember
So
me?" Yeah.
so
That has happened.
I was telling Shay a story before we started this podcast about a particular person in a particular industry. If you watch my YouTube videos, you will know. And I approached her because I wanted to work with her. And she she didn't care. Like she was more concerned about how many subscribers I have, and it didn't work out. But funny enough, situations like those, like if you fast forward and you're actually, for lack of a better word, more popular or more well known,
Mm-hmm.
there's always like a turnaround, so to
Yeah.
speak. And you don't even need to take it personally either. It's just, I guess it's just business. It's just a part of life. You just have to
Yeah.
work. You just have to work a lot harder. When I get no's, I don't really take it personally. You just
Me
work a
either.
lot harder. Yeah, you just work a lot harder.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't take it personally at all. Like I'm okay with hearing the word no. So I'm not afraid of going after something. I'm not afraid of no's. I'm not afraid of, I wouldn't even say failures or losses, because I mean it's not a failure. You can try something and it probably doesn't work out, but then you learn from it
Yeah.
and then you know
So
what
you
to do
fail
to make it
forward.
better.
You fail
You fail
forward.
forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The first
Yeah.
episode I did with a colleague of mine, that was his motto. If he's gonna fail, just fail forward. So regarding the relationships though, Gabby, did you face, I
Hmm.
mean, apart from Candy, Terry, like other like even like relationships that you've made internationally, did you have any difficulty in terms of like building traction and making certain deals, making certain
Definitely.
partnerships?
I did it. I Funny story.
Because for one, you were very young, right? Because you're like
So
1 year
I
older than me.
experienced that not from I experienced that not necessarily from the influencers, because the influencers that I came across were always very supportive and they were
Hmm.
visionaries, they were creatives. So um, for some reason, fortunately, they had always believed in me and in my brand.
Nice.
But corporate, I remember when I was doing Carnival Glam Hub. The first year I did Carnival Glam Hub, there's a specific company I had reached out to, and I wanted to have it at their location. I'm not gonna call any names.
We're not calling the name.
No, we're not calling them, but they know themselves. I did a proposal, submitted it to them. By the way, these people, I worked with them before
Oh.
while I was a part of UCA, right? So I felt confident seeing that, that they would have probably believed in the vision because, they know how I work already. I've worked with them before. So I submitted a proposal to them, shared the plan, had a meeting, shared the plan, and they shut it down. They said no, they're not gonna be a part of it.
Have you ever been in a situation where they didn't even respond to your email?
Oh, definitely. All the time, girl. All the time. All the time. Send an email to our company from 2017. Yeah, that happens. But as I said, I don't take it personally. I just say, okay, and I say, what's the next direction? And just keep on going. And those stuff make you stronger anyways. So that was fine. So
Yeah.
they said no. They said no. And to be honest, when they said no, and when people say no, it actually motivates me. I'll give another example of that too. So yeah, so they said no, that they're not gonna participate. And at first I was just like, oh my God, this is the best location. This would have been the ideal space in my head. And I said, you know what? I said, I'm not going to stop my shine. And I continued and I reached out to more sponsors and I found a location and we ended up doing it at Pegasus. And it's so funny because it was getting a lot more traction. A few of their employees had actually booked with us.
Oh, okay.
And they came because they were also doing stuff for Carnival. So they came, and then their promo girls were also there for at the hub. So when they came and they saw the Glam Hub setup, they were like, "Oh my God, Gabby!" They're like, "Whoa, we didn't know it's gonna be like this." And
is that
that
the
was
company? That was the person that shut you down?
That was the company.
Because I was gonna ask.
That shut me down.
I was gonna ask. I wonder what was their response. I was gonna ask what was their response after.
We're in awe. Hold on, no, it gets better. So, and then I contacted their competitor, and their competitor was at the hub. So, and when they saw the activation that the competitor did, which that was the same thing I had suggested to them, and when they saw it come to fruition, they're like, no. So, the same day, they said, okay, we're gonna sponsor next year, and we're gonna triple what that sponsor gave. We want
you
to buy up that.
You accepted, didn't you?
Girl, money is money, girl. I'm not gonna lie. But then the other sponsor, the brand no longer belonged to them, so we couldn't have done it anymore.
That's funny.
But yeah,
that's comical. It's a part of life comes full circle,
Business
it comes full circle. And
it comes full circle. But it's so funny because I made them think that, first of all, they said I had asked them for more money than they were offering. I'm like, first of all, because I was just like, I'm gonna make you guys beg for
you can't just come and triple this and no.
I remember my business partner was just like, I know Gabby, this offer so good. I said, them I could come harder, and I was just like, I said, this won't do, but these are the plans that we have for next year, so we're gonna need more. Like that won't work. Yeah, girl,
yeah.
anything we did ask for them, just come breathe. Yeah.
So
see how life works?
Like I said, life comes full circle, and that person that I did not name, I'm gonna work with her one day, just wait.
No, you definitely will. It's just like I remember the second year of Carnival, I spoke with somebody who's also big in Carnival, and I called the person and I was just like, this is what we want to do. And we had the pricing and everything set up. And I said, what do you think about this? Because based obviously on it was a much bigger venue this time, bigger area. So everything was a lot more grand because a lot more persons were coming on board and we had a lot more bookings. So I was just like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. And I was on the phone with her for a while and she was just like, Gabby, I can tell you it's gonna fail. You're not gonna get anyone. Nobody's gonna come. Because yeah, she said that. And like she was on the phone with me for like about an hour telling me why it won't work, why nobody's gonna come.
People really do that?
It's yeah, and she said it's too expensive, all of those stuff. She's just
I
like,
feel
Gabby,
like people
nobody's
like
gonna.
those project. I feel like they're projecting, projecting their insecurities on other people. I just,
So, and it depends on how you are as a person. Because for me, just because she's big in the carnival space, right?
yeah,
So for her to say it's not gonna work, no. But for some people, for them to say, okay, if this person is big in the carnival space and this is not gonna work, then I'm just gonna shut it down. When she said that, I was laughing so hard, like I put my phone on mute and I was laughing because I'm like, this girl don't know me. I was just like, this girl don't know that she has motivated me to prove her wrong. And I remember in every case, I was just like, when we got something, I was like, no, it needs to be more. We need to get more persons because I wanted to prove her wrong. Like that whole conversation had motivated me straight through. And you know, it's so funny. So after, close to carnival time, I actually invited her to the hub and I said, hey, um, everything worked out. I'm gonna invite you to get your makeup done. I said full glam service, makeup and hair. When she came, she was in awe. Right? All of a sudden, she's Instagramming about the whole experience. She's tweeting about the whole experience. She wrote me, she's like, oh my God, Gabby, I can't believe it. I'm so proud.
anyways.
Yeah. I was,
Anyways.
yeah. Can you believe that?
Mhm.
And then after that, you see, after that, when we announced that we're going to like Trinidad and Barbados, she's just like, Gabby, do you have any slots available? I want to book with you.
We,
All of
we,
that.
that's just life for you. So before
And
we
when
get,
we told her that, I was just like, sure, see the link there so you can pay for the ticket because she thought she was gonna get another comp. I just gave her the comp to prove her wrong. Yeah, that's all them silly
laughs in profit. So
Oh
we're
God.
gonna get into the numbers soon, right? But I wanted to touch on your most recent baby, which is your lip gloss line. It's called Sila. I it didn't I wasn't able to attend the launch because it was the same day as me and Marissa's Black Friday sale pop-up shop. We had a pop-up shop that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think Brittany
Oh,
Brittany
my
was
launch was no Brit. No, that was Brittany's launch. You mixing up
oh
my
okay,
launch.
yeah, yeah,
Brittany
yeah,
had
yeah.
her
You're
launch.
right, you're right,
My
you're
launch
right.
was
I'm
virtual.
confusing it. Yours was virtual for real with the photo shoot and stuff. So Brittany had a lip gloss, so we didn't get to attend that one. I saw yours online. It was like a forest type of thing and the lip gloss and the
Yeah.
music, and I was like, ooh, he's doing the thing, the thing.
Yeah, a lot
He's
of
doing
thought
the
came
do it
into that whole
things.
process. Thanks,
So
girl.
that was called Sila. So I want to know, why did you go with Sila? Like, guys, that's like a Jamaican. I wouldn't say a Jamaican proverb because a proverb is like a phrase, but it's like a Jamaican a word that we say like when something happens and it's like I don't even know how to describe it. How would you describe
Uh,
Sila?
okay, well, for me, so everything, okay, so the whole concept of the collection was to talk about my journey, but
Yeah.
also a journey that other persons can relate to and relate with. So you have faith, you have Celeste, and you have blessed. But it's really talking about, oftentimes there is an unknown, you don't know where you're going. But it's oftentimes when you have faith and you believe in that celestial being, you realize that there are lots of blessings that you are able to unfold along the way, and then you'll see the beauty of life and you begin to enjoy life, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's really just on how you see life. And it's supposed to talk about, so even the packaging, it's a part of the whole concept of it. But Selah, it's coming from a biblical term, which basically means to
That's
pause and think.
biblical.
It is, girl.
It was like
It's
our
biblical.
thing.
No,
That was a Jamaican thing.
no,
Okay.
no, girl. It's a biblical thing. So basically, it's usually after the end of a verse or a Bible verse. It will probably have like Selah at the
Sheila.
end,
Yeah.
which basically means to pause and think. So it's more of a reflecting on your journey. Your journey is your own and it's beautiful. And there are blessings that are coming. There are blessings through the whole experience, but it's for you to open your eyes and believe and see the blessings that God has put in your life. Right. So even the packaging, so these
She
are what they
got
look
one
like.
right here.
I got the
Brand
sweetest.
ambassador. She got the whole
Yes.
line. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So basically the bottle, the packaging of it shows from dark to light. So it's walking in the unknown, but then towards the end you'll see the beauty.
I like how
So
prepared you came for this podcast.
girl,
I just want to put that out there that I'm so happy that you have them right there. But listening to you, talking to you, Gabby, another thing that I'm getting from the whole Sela name as well. Um, you said that in your opinion it's the pause and think, but a lot of times when we use it here in Jamaica, it's like when you, for lack of a better word, foresee something and people don't have confidence in whatever you foresee,
mhm,
and then it happens, we're like Sela. So in other
yeah,
words, it's like as it was written or as it should
it
be.
is written. Yeah,
And I feel like talking to you, hearing your story, um, hearing you speak about the many doors that were closed and looking at where you are now, it's almost like Sila. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
as it was written,
Celia.
like this is, yeah,
Yep,
man,
as yep,
this is your right, this is your destiny, this is where you were supposed to be. Even if other people didn't have confidence, even if they didn't want to believe, it was
yep,
already written. So I'm listening to you, and that's another thing I'm getting out of the name as well. I don't know if,
yeah.
if you've ever
So
thought about that, but that's another
yeah,
thing that I'm getting from it.
it's like the poem that I wrote for the launch. Was it last night? My dad was just like, Gabby, the poem that you wrote, do you have the audio? Send it to me. Because he started to send it out to people because he's just like, Gabby, I don't think you know, but that poem was so powerful.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because this whole experience, God has brought me through it all. In terms of the timing that the collection was released, the
Hmm.
name of the collection, the names of the individual glosses, everything. Um, and it's just all powerful and it's all because of him. And I just have to thank him for everything that he has done for me. Because sometimes I just don't see how I would be able to do it without him. Because I mean, I
Hmm.
do a lot. Because I don't just have business, because I also have a 9 to 5. I also work in
Yeah,
corporate.
yeah. I realize that
So
now. I did not know that actually.
yeah, so I work
Yeah.
in corporate. I also teach makeup classes on Saturdays.
Oh
I
my.
there are lots of others. There are lots of stuff that I
I
do.
teach as well,
Uh,
but
that's awesome. Do you like it?
well, for me, it's actually English. So I'm an English professional. I'm certified internationally. So because I
Wow.
speak intermediate Spanish, I do like I work for a company called Open English. So we do like English classes and we teach students,
That's so
international
cool.
students. Yeah. So I work from home. I do my business from home as well because Nakian
That's
Beauty.
awesome.
Nakian Beauty is an
Yeah.
online business as well. And then
And
this
it's Otan
podcast.
Stunting. I always getting newsletters from you guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I
Oh
love
yeah.
it.
I stay on top of my mailing list.
Yeah, girl. I can see.
I stay on top of
I
that.
can see. That's awesome.
So, Gabby, here on the Black Standard podcast, right? Our aim
Hmm.
is to, normalize Black wealth, expose areas where people of color are thriving, and to show like our listeners and our youth that you don't have to stick to a particular profession or a particular industry to do well, which is why I wanted to bring you on this podcast, because I feel like as a beauty professional, it kind of gives a twist to, working and making money and actually doing a pretty damn good job at it, as a matter of fact. So,
Thanks.
um, I'm sure a lot of young women and men, because it's 2021, listening to this, they're interested in makeup. They have a passion about beauty, not necessarily makeup too, but hair or anything beauty related. And they're not necessarily getting a lot of support. They're nervous about pursuing this field full time. If you don't mind, I want you to share with the listeners what was one of like the highest bookings. You don't have to give the exact number, but just like tell us the figures. Like, what was one of the highest bookings you think you have ever secured as a beauty professional? Think about it. Think about it.
I think 500 in 2 days.
So that's 6 figures. You don't
Mm.
even want to see Shay's face right now. Hey,
That was the biggest.
wait, Gabby. Shay's like this. Shay's like this.
Yeah, that was 500 clients. 500 clients in 2 days.
Let's just have a moment of silence for the profit that Gabby made on that. You know?
I did not do that on my own, by the way.
Did you?
That was
No,
I didn't do that.
Yeah, sure. You know, teamwork makes the dream work, but
yeah, 500.
Hey, we have to switch professions.
500.
Hey,
That was in Trinidad.
Shay, we have to switch professions.
That was 500. I remember that day I cried.
Tears of joy, of course.
Yeah, because I
joy.
remember that was a Trinidad carnival, and I remember I was just like, how the heck are you gonna do this? We don't live in Trinidad.
Did you get paid in USD?
All of us. Oh yeah, we really
Goals. That's just goals. Are you okay? Okay. So my next question, Gabby, how exactly, like, how do you calculate all of this? Like, especially when you have other people helping you, working for you, how do you calculate? Like, if someone wants like a invoice or a quote for something, because I don't really know, because you have your makeup tools, then you have your time, then you have to pay people. That doesn't count like a venue, refreshments if that's there as well. But then how do you know all of these stuff beforehand to actually provide like, a quote?
Okay. I mean, at the same time,
Just
you do
briefly, you
want to
don't
be
have to be detailed.
yeah, but at the same time, you want to be competitive. So it's always good to know what is it that your competitors are offering.
Right.
How that you can be different, how you can provide value added, but then also to account for your expenses. So you need to know how many things you actually are going to be paying for and figure out how is it that you can be affordable, right? Affordable enough. You're still able to cover your expenses and also make money from it and be profitable from it. So it's a lot of sitting down that you'd have to do and working those things out on yourself. But those are the things that you need to take into consideration when it comes on to anything. Even with Carnival Glam Hub, I mean, initially when the prices that we were charging, at one point, I guess some persons would think that it's expensive, but as I said, you're thinking
You have
about
to factor a lot of stuff.
competitive space,
Yeah.
the things that you're offering. So when you work it out, you realize that, oh, it's actually, it's really affordable because I'm getting all of these other things that I wouldn't have gotten if I had went somewhere else, right?
Right.
So it's thinking about those stuff and then just thinking about other ways in which you can have certain stuff pay for certain expenses. So even products, makeup, you can suggest reach out to a company to be an ambassador for them, so then they can supply you with products. So that way it offsets your expense cost.
Yeah,
and
I was gonna ask
revenue.
that.
Right. And that's
so I have a question, like, because you mentioned as well, like factoring in your expenses, right? Have you ever found yourself underpricing because you're not yet popular? Because a lot of entrepreneurs face this difficulty, and I tell people, do not let, because of the size of your audience, you underprice yourself to the point where you're not even breaking even. Like, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous to me. And I think more people need to respect small businesses. So have you ever found yourself in that situation where persons,
definitely.
they don't really know Carnival Glam Hub, they don't really know GlamCon, and they're like, why is this so expensive? Why do I gotta do this? Why do I gotta pay this?
Even when I just started off doing makeup, I remember the other day I was going through I think like a sponsored ad I did. And when I saw the
Mhm.
prices that I had, I was like, Gabby, you are so unfair to yourself.
Yeah,
You did not factor in the time, you did not in factor in your products.
yeah.
You I was so unfair to myself. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So I mean, at the same time, obviously you're hungry and you just want to get your name out. So you want to be able to do as many persons as possible. But you also need to understand your value.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, and the time
And
will come.
sometimes you
So
want the sale, but
and
you also have to learn to walk away if it is that somebody doesn't want to respect your price.
exactly. You really need to know when to walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Um because and not you're not being fair to yourself,
Right.
to be very honest. You're not being fair to yourself. There are times when, yeah, you can offer a reduced price if you feel like you're gonna get a return from it, you know, but don't short yourself at the same time. Make sure that there's something in it for you. So even it's a case where you do have influencers who would probably say, my influencer sometimes, and that happens, I guess that has happened to a lot of persons,
This happened to
we
me.
teach them for free. Yeah.
Happened to me.
Sometimes yeah, you don't need to do that with everyone because sometimes they'll probably just post like a one story and that's it. No, tell them, okay, this is exactly what I want. This is how I want you to do it. Because I'll also oftentimes too, whenever persons ask me to promote something for them, I
Mm-hmm.
actually take the time to do it properly, to do a nice
Yeah.
video or whatever, because I know what it feels like whenever you ask someone, you have a business and you want it to be promoted properly, and they just do like a little short thing. Oh, I got this,
A little,
thanks. And
they don't even, some of them don't even do personal videos. They just go on your page and repost something,
yeah,
something.
yeah. So I mean, sometimes when people ask me and I'll do it, they're like, "Oh my God, Gabby, thank you so much. This is exactly what I wanted."
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like, and at the same, if you're gonna, if your thing is that I'm saying that if you're gonna do something, you're gonna say yes, do it properly, do it where you know that okay, chances are there must be at least one person who will definitely say, okay, they've bought into the post or the story that you've made. Don't just post this and just sometimes, I mean, I appreciate it, but sometimes you can actually leave a review and say, yo, I got this, and yo, this actually looks good, like I actually love it, because then you're able to sell it to your followers. But at the same time, they're like, you're not paying me. But I mean, if you're not gonna do it, just say no,
That's enough. Do
or
you
or
wanna,
let
do you
them know,
wanna,
or let them know what is it that you're gonna do, and then they can decide if they're willing to take it on or not.
do you wanna tell them what Agekwadagis means?
Whatever you do, do it well, honey. And that is a mantra that I forever live by. Anything that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it well.
Period.
Anything. So if I'm gonna no, but it's just like
It's
even when
important.
you're gonna do something, because you never know who is watching at the
It's
same time. You
true.
never know. Yeah, a lot
Can
of
I
the
tell
stuff.
you, if I was mediocre with my YouTube videos, girl, I have people in Nigeria watching my YouTube videos, United Kingdom,
Exactly, and that's awesome.
even this podcast,
That is
even though we
so
have like a
awesome.
small, even though we have like a small Instagram audience, when I checked on Anchor, when I checked the audience location, I'm seeing Sweden, Japan, UK, and I'm like, who the heck
Yeah,
is
and you don't know
listening
what
to
officer. Yeah,
Sweden?
and you can definitely
I
impact
don't
these
know anyone.
persons.
I don't know any. I have a friend that was in the UK, so I was like, okay, probably it's Dinalyn. And I have some friends in Japan, so I was like, probably it's Trish, probably it's this, but I don't know anyone in Sweden.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
gotta
you
do what you're
never know who is watching.
gotta do what you're
Yeah,
doing properly. It's true. So my
yeah.
last questions, and then we wrap up. So based on what you're saying, the beauty industry is a sustainable business, right?
It is,
Has
and
your
there's space for everyone.
have your numbers been affected by COVID or the pandemic?
When it just started, 100%. I feel like when it just started, every other call,
Was a
especially when it came
cancellation?
on to weddings, when it came on to weddings, it was a cancellation, or it was postponed, or it was downsizing. And there was a period where I just wasn't doing anything. And I
Anything?
was just like, oh my God.
I
And then
know.
the same time that that COVID was happening was the same time the lip glosses were happening.
You know,
So it was like a double whammy, because at first I was just like, okay, it's COVID, nobody's going out, but that's fine. People are home.
you
And
remember
then when
Abraham,
it came
right?
on to, yeah,
I was having
yeah,
this conversation with him yesterday, and I said, I feel like a lot of non essential businesses are under a lot of pressure right now. So if it's not like a basic need, you're going to see a loss. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because,
So it was devastating, because even when, so as I said, with the lip glosses, when COVID happened, I'm like, all right, fine. And then when they said you have to wear a mask everywhere you go,
yeah,
I
nobody
said,
was wearing,
Jesus.
I personally stopped wearing lip gloss. I personally stopped wearing lip gloss.
Yo, I cussed God that day, you know. When they said everybody have to wear a mask, I sit down. I said, God, you know, some me and your work
But you
for me.
know, I'm even at a point now where I like find putting on makeup so bothersome because I've went so long without wearing makeup the past year. And it's like, oh, do I have to do this? But you know, even with my business,
Girl,
Gabby, even with my business, like even with your business too, putting cancellations aside because of actual COVID, a lot of people are facing less income. So a lot of persons are going to be doing cutbacks. So like with me and my organic products, you know, a lot of people, whereas they used to make that effort to take care of their skin, make that effort to buy like organic this, organic that, they're going to be like just wanting the basic these days because their income has decreased. A lot of persons got laid off. A lot of persons got cut back. They've been working from home, so they're getting a lower salary, which I think they should be getting higher, but that's another story.
mm-hmm.
And so a lot of small businesses, if you don't have the capital to like increase marketing, especially your marketing, it's going to be really hard.
It was when COVID hit, it was really rough. It was so
It's
rough,
rough.
because as I said, I had already put down all of the money on the lip glosses. I couldn't stop them. And I remember I prayed about it, because I was just like, why are you doing this to me, God? Like, I'm not getting no more bookings. Everybody call and I can't, like, at one point I hated answering my phone, because I was just like, oh, another cancellation. Oh, another.
But
I'm
then,
like,
you
I remember
know,
I prayed about it, but then God, God is God, right?
Gabby, another thing we promote on this podcast is having multiple streams of income too. And you
Yeah,
know this, that has been beneficial, right? Because
yeah,
what if that was
that
like your only source of income?
right. So, and it's, yeah, just not putting all your eggs in one basket,
Yeah.
because I mean, so I have Gabby Glam, I have Carnival Glam Hub, I have GlamCon. No, all of those are in the same industry. It's all beauty.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a period that was on low, but as marketing,
Right.
I'm in corporate, so I still had something coming in. But then eventually, um, the way how I started marketing Gabby Glam, and then I found that a lot more persons started to do Zooms, and corporate now is doing everything digital. So I started to, instead of going to weddings, I started to reach into corporate. So then
Mhm.
I started to make a lot, I started to focus on that. And then that was when stuff started to come in, and then like, no, it's like it has lightened up like later down in October in 2020, because then persons are just like, I'm just gonna do my wedding. So persons were starting to book back for weddings, and persons were looking for like birthday shoots, and a
Mhm.
lot, everything was more like everybody wanted to update themselves digitally. So it required also corporate shoots and all that type of thing. So I found myself doing a lot of that. And yeah, so you always have to find a way to pivot and to change, because even for, as you said, for you, you realize that persons probably weren't buying the soaps, but you found a way to just keep on going and doing something else to say, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna work now in this situation? So that's kind of what you have to do. I knew that persons necessarily weren't gonna be going out anymore, but at least the lip glosses are moisturizing. And I
Ah, yeah,
remember,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's moisturizing at the same time. So it's perfect, even if you're not going to wear it to go out, and they're soft and subtle colors. And then I remember even just praying about it, and that's having that higher being that you believe in that helps a lot with your sanity, because I could have broken down easily, because then obviously Carnival Glam Hub was no more a go. GlamCon was no longer a go. Bookings for Gabby Glam Co were just going down. But then God just found a way, and then things started to kind of pick back up. I started getting wedding bookings again. I started
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot more corporate jobs. And funny, interestingly enough, and even with the lip glosses, I wanted to launch it in December, because I'm like, okay, that's the highest buying time. I didn't get it in December, and I kind of cried about it, because I'm like, so when are you gonna make the launch pad in January? Nobody's gonna want to buy anything because everybody will
Mm-hmm.
be done. COVID, the only time people will be spending money at this time is in December.
Yeah.
January, nobody's gonna buy. And even my friends, I have such an amazing support system. And my friends are like, no, Gabby, don't worry. You have a great support system. It's still gonna work. And it's like God was just like, Gabby, you don't need to follow the trend about, oh, this is the highest buying power time. If you believe in me, these stuff will be sold out. You don't need to worry about it. And I'm like, all right. And I launched it in January. Started off with 300, and in 2 weeks, the 300 were done. In 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
I cried. I remember I cried, because I was just
Congratulations.
like, thank you. Because I was just like, there really is like a like, I really believed in him, and he was really a part of the journey the whole entire time. Because in my head, I thought that January was like the worst
The
time to
worst
even launch
period.
something, because that's everybody money done. And it wasn't even like I was going to, it's not like I launched it the end of January. I launched it the beginning of January.
Oh,
People
yeah.
don't spend money already. Yeah, I launched it January 6th. And in 2 weeks, it was done. The 300 that I started off with was done. And I was amazed, because I wanted to launch it in Fontana, and I couldn't, because I didn't have enough to launch it yet. So we had to wait a little, and I didn't launch it in Fontana until February.
Okay.
That was great.
So,
Yeah,
and
that was
and and
great.
even having a partnership with Fontana is amazing as well, because Fontana has even with them, they have transformed their brand from just being a pharmaceutical brand to now a well-established beauty brand,
Yeah,
or healthcare or
I
wellness
believe
brand.
that.
Yeah, so I have to commend them as well. Okay, Gabby, so we're gonna
You're
wrap up the
supporting.
podcast now. So just let my audience know where they can find you. Drop your Instagram handle, anything necessary that you want to drop right now. Go ahead and plug yourself.
Okay, thanks, girl. So you can find me on Instagram, Gabby Glam Co. That's GABBYGLAMCO. That is the business page. You can also follow my personal page, which is underscore Gabby Glam.
Mm-hmm.
You can purchase the lip glosses on gabbyglamcosmetics.com. They're also available if you're in Jamaica. They're available in Fontana, Merrimero, Bridget's Boutique, Carrie Manoman Home, and Sunny Island Supplies in Negril. Oh, also Glamaholic and Fashion 911. So you
Nice.
can get them there. And if you're not from Jamaica, then you can order them online,
Okay.
because we
All right.
do international shipping. Yeah,
Yes, guys. So be
that's
sure to get
it.
those lip glosses because we are outside next year. We are getting vaccinated and we're going to be outside. We're going to be partying. We're going to be turning up and we're going to be doing our businesses as we should be. Gabby, thank you so much for coming on this podcast, guys.
Thanks for having me, and
You're welcome.
congratulations. You're doing a great job, and keep it up, Girl,
Thank you
that
so much.
easy.
Thank you so much. Guys, if you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. And I will have Gabby's information in the description box below on YouTube and also in the description of whatever podcast platform you're listening to. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.